For more on this, we're now joined by Executive Director at SA Terrorism Analysis Centre, Andy Grudko, to talk to us about South Africa's intelligence and the wave of brazen and violent crimes in the country. And Andy joins us via our Zoom link. Andy, thank you so much for joining us here on the late edition. 18 suspects gunned down by police. Of course, these are said to be suspects of a cash-in-transit syndicate. A major breakthrough here for the police.
Absolutely. And you may recall there was another one in Selby about a year ago or so, under very similar circumstances.
Certainly. One would ask that we saw the police commissioner there saying that there was a shootout that ensued with these suspects for at least 90 minutes. How brazen have, these gang members become?
Well, 90 minutes is extraordinary. I was trying to think of similar occurrences. We think of America, and there was a shootout of about that length of time after a bank heist where two chaps had worn a specially built body armor, and they tooled themselves up ready to take on the police. And they held off the police, as I say, for approximately 90 minutes. But I can't recall of any other standoffs like that. It is actually quite extraordinary. I would hate to think how much ammunition was fired and where many of the rounds went. The crossfire, for instance, could have been horrendous for people in the street.
And I mean, looking at the police statement, Andy, we're now told that there was 7 automatic rifles seized on the scene. When you look at a criminal syndicate of this nature, what goes into, when you look at the operations done in this manner?
Yes, well, of course, people often get the terminology wrong. We don't know whether they were automatic or semi-automatic weapons, which would give some indication as to where they might have come from. Automatic weapons are, of course, military or police. Semi-automatic could have been stolen from civilians or from security companies. Security companies in this country are only allowed to have semi-automatic weapons. They can't have full automatic. And in fact, yesterday I was talking to one of my colleagues about how easy it is to travel into some of the surrounding states still and not have your vehicle searched. So, for instance, if you're going into somewhere like Mozambique, which was once awash with AK-47s, there doesn't seem to be any great hindrance to bringing them through. So, therefore, there's a plentiful supply of these very dangerous weapons.
Andy, one would ask, when you look at the operation here conducted by the police, clearly these individuals were caught off guard. It just tells you the magnitude of the investigation that was undertaken by the South African Police Service.
Well, certainly these cash-in-transit robberies and also the bombings of ATMs have been a scourge on our society. And it's wonderful to see that the SAPS are responding. I don't want to put down the SAPS in any way, but I must point out that the cash-in-transit companies have excellent intelligence themselves. There's one which I visited recently whose control room for all their vehicles on the road and for observation that they have available looks like a NASA control room. So there's a very good chance that the security companies are working in the background with the police, and they don't come and stand forward and say, yes, well, we provided information on this, that, or the other. I'm quite happy for the police to take the credit on these incidents.
All right, Andy Grudko, thank you so much for your time and giving us that insight in terms of cash-in-transit heists in this country. And of course, that foiled, operation there by the police. 18 suspects gunned down in Limpopo.